Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another live stream. Another Wednesday, another live stream. We're gonna get started here, and then usually what I tell people is the first everything works okay, and all that sort of thing. And then if you're watching this on replay, you can skip ahead. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
How
Sorry,
are
we're all
you?
trying to scooch in here.
That's usually the first like 5 minutes of this is getting all set up. So
Oh man.
thank you for jumping on. We'll just let some people jump in here, and then we'll get going. Angel, thank you for joining. Undefeated fans, thank you for joining. Raven Atkinson, thank you for joining. Yeah, shout everyone out if you see them coming in. Let's see who else. I have to apologize in advance. I will butcher everyone's handles and names. Sorry about that. Derek, thank you for joining. Chaos Guitars, thank you for joining. We just shot some footage with them yesterday, and we're gonna play Carnival of Chaos on August 3rd. Let's see. Ghost of Fouquet Walker, thank you for joining. Sanford D596, thank you for joining. Beck Wolf 3, thank you for joining. Sean Amley, thank you for joining. Take me into the Mbop, thank you for joining. There's so many people in here. Oh my goodness. All right, we'll get to them in a second. Let me just quick read some stuff off the top, and we'll get started because I'm sure you all want to talk to Undefeated. If you do have questions, did I say August 13th? August 12th again. So yeah, any questions, you can drop them in the comments below now, and then we'll get to them in a bit. Spaghetti Danielson, thank you for joining. Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome to the Bellwether Virtual Livestream, where we discuss music, the local Lehigh Valley, PA, and beyond scene today, which is going to be nice, bands, social media, and more. Today is Wednesday, June 28th. My name is Mike, and I am the vocalist, guitarist of Bellwether Virtual. Hope you had a good week. And today is the first show in a series of shows that's going to be promoting the August 12th show, Carnival of Chaos 3. Just three, with our guests tonight, and that's put on by Chaos Guitars and Dave, which is awesome. We shot a little footage with him last night. We'll be releasing soon. Hold on one second. And let's see what else. Yeah, we'll be releasing a single soon as well. And tonight our guests are Meredith, Christian, and Lise of Undefeated. They are a rock and metal band from Lewis County, New York, who are just about to go back out on tour, won all sorts of awards, and just have recently surpassed 50,000 views on YouTube, which is no small feat. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And yeah, we'll talk about all that and more. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. How are you doing today?
Thank you. We're doing well. Sorry, we had to, all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, I'm holding the phone and this is not going to work. So we stacked books and Monopoly boards, and I think we got it.
All right, cool. That is part of the downside of doing it on Instagram.
Don't move.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it's going to fall. So I'm like, nobody move.
Yeah, just keep still. Yeah, is there anything you all want to, I know you're about to go back out on tour. Is there anything you want to plug right off the top? New music, tour, or any of that stuff?
Yeah, we're headed out actually in 2 days. Our first stop is Audio Feed in Illinois. So I'm so excited. So you can check out all of our social media under undefeated_official. It's all the same: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And come say hi and say you came from here, because that would be really cool.
Heck yeah.
Yes, indeed. I just want to shout out a few more people who are coming in here.
Yeah.
Let's
Hi,
see.
Chet.
Yeah, there you go. Just feel free to shout them out as you go. Donovan Miller, thank you for joining. Oh my God, there's so many names I can't. Rachel, thank you for joining. If you have any questions for Undefeated, please drop them in the comments and we will get to them as we go. All right, so usually my first question is, are you from the area? But I know you're not. So you just want to talk about, a little bit about where you come from, and yeah, we'll start there.
Yeah, so we actually call from a small town in New York called Louville. We actually live in the middle of nowhere. Basically, our town slogan is that we have more cows than people,
All right.
which is hilarious. Yeah,
that literally is like the slogan.
Yeah.
So do you think that has played a role in your music, like how you grew up in that kind of area?
I think it played a role in the sense that we were able to create the band and able to put work into it, you know? I was
Yeah.
homeschooled from 4th grade to graduation, so if I didn't have that time at home, I don't think we would be doing the band.
Interesting. Yeah. I was going to ask because you got a really early start and you're
Yeah.
out there already touring, which is awesome.
Sorry, I'm not crying, I promise. Man, this
Uh,
interview already. No, I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
Meaning to get into the deep stuff, yeah. So was there was there a thing or a person or a song or something that kind of got you started in your musical journey?
Yeah, I was part of a youth group growing up, and they didn't necessarily have room for everybody. And through that, like I lost a lot of confidence, but I also gained a lot of confidence after that in who I was and who I decided to do and what I decided to do for my life. They ended up having a couple bands come in from Canada and Massachusetts. I ended up playing like background guitar and background vocals for the youth group that was opening for these bands. And the promoter from one of those bands came up to me afterwards and was like, I just feel like I'm supposed to encourage you. And my mom was like, who are you and what do you want to do with my 13-year-old daughter, you know? But we thought the worst thing that could happen was we didn't go to this festival that he had invited me to. So we went and something there like clicked for me. There were all sorts of genres. There was rock and screamo and reggae and rap and gospel, like anything you can imagine, it was there. And something clicked and I was like, that's what I want to do. So when I came home, I asked Christian if he would be my drummer.
And I said, heck yeah.
And Undefeated was born. And then 2 years ago, my sister joined, actually. She didn't play any bass at the time. And we were looking for a bassist after our original one left. And I was like, you know, we're looking around, whatever. And she said, I'll play. And we said, you don't play any instruments at all. But
That's
I had
okay.
an old bass, so she picked it up. And within a month, she was like, flying. Here, hop on the frame a little bit.
Yeah.
And within a month, she was flying. And so, yeah, she's been with us for a couple years. And why would I not use what's in my own house, you know?
Yep. Exactly. And that's awesome. I love that. I think some people get stuck in lessons a little too long too. So they'll like, I went and got music lessons when I was a kid and all that sort of thing. But I also immediately jumped into a band and started playing because I do think that's a really important part of it that kind of keeps you engaged and interested in learning. And you always seem to learn from the other people in your band more than anything, I find anyway. Yeah. Okay, so then when did the band start, like, officially?
Officially, August 5th, 2017.
Oh, down to
I
a
was like, I
day.
know the actual date because that was the first show we played on the lawn of a bookstore about an hour from us. We made 20 whole bucks. We thought we had made it. We're like, we're going to go get ice cream. We worked for this.
That's good for a first show, yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. And from there, it was all word of mouth. And then just 2 years ago, about when she joined, is when we started really promoting and really working on this as a business versus we like music, we're going to play when we can, you know?
Yes, very cool. Soraya Dance, thank you for joining. You mentioned one of the shows you had played on early on was kind of a real mix of a lot of different styles. Can you just talk a little bit about what your specific influences are, like your individual influences, and then together your band influences?
So my influences are more metal based. I definitely consider myself to be more of like a metal slash like punk drummer. With like the harder stuff, more tom beats. Definitely like almost like thrash, I would say.
Yeah.
But then I also like throw like my own like Christian into it. Make it my own. So like Bad Omens really influenced me.
Cool, yeah.
Other bands like that. So yeah, absolutely.
I would probably say Beartooth.
Oh yeah.
That's
It's
her
a big
yeah, your
that
favorite.
one, and probably Pierce the Veil.
Oh, I was just in Baltimore, Baltimore Harbor, and on like a random work trip, and they at the bottom of the hotel there was like a venue that was on the waterfront, and Pierce the Veil was playing. It was so crazy.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I guess. Yeah. So I guess they're out on tour, and I think they were coming up through Philly too at some point. So yeah, that was really cool.
Good for you.
Heck yeah.
Well, yeah, we're seeing that Blue Ridge.
Yeah,
so.
we bought for my birthday and her birthday combined. My mom bought us Blue Ridge Rock tickets, so we're headed out in
Nice.
December. So
Very cool. Yeah.
yeah.
And then can you maybe just talk a little bit about how you got involved in Carnival of Chaos?
Yes. So actually, I saw their, I guess, event last year or year before. I can't remember. My mom sends me a lot of screenshots of just different events that she finds for me to book or whatever. And I saw that and I was like, oh, I'll send a quick email in my list of emails that I'm sending out or whatever. And then he contacted us back and was like, hey, we're really interested in this. And I was like, sweet. And then I saw the Brutality was on the bill and I was like, even better. We went out for 2 weeks last year and they're awesome people. So we're really looking forward to this event and it seems really cool. And I've kind of looked around at some of the bands and it just seems like it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I was watching your tour vlog a little bit and I saw
Oh,
no. No, it's awesome. I loved it. It's a lot of fun. So you're booking everything yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we actually just signed with the manager, so I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like back and forth with contracts and stuff, which is how it goes. But it's signed, it's done. I'm super excited. It'll be awesome.
Take some weight off your shoulders too. I'm sure you can just focus on playing a little bit more. What do you have any like secrets of I don't know, it seems to be like people like booking secrets or anything. You just kind of write emails and reach out or
Yeah, I really like it's a lot of trial and error and you send out a lot of emails for a couple of responses, you know what I mean, or calls or whatever. But like I guess the more we've grown, the better social media presence we have, etc. We've really started getting good responses, and now we have a couple people that like we know this person who knows this person, you know. So the more we work at this, just the more contacts you make. It's definitely like you have to put in the effort, you have to put in the time for it if you want to be doing this for a living.
Yeah, there's no shortcuts, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Can you just a reminder to everyone, thank you all for joining. It's been great so far. If you do have questions or comments or not concerns, questions and comments. I guess if you have concerns, you can post them in there too, but we're not going to read those.
Love it.
Yeah, you can post them in the comments.
Oh, sorry. It's just recently, like we've gotten like an influx of messages that aren't as nice, you know, and I'm like, oh, this is where we are now. I do all the social media management too, so I don't really share that with them.
Oh, so what, you got haters?
Okay. I missed what you said, I'm sorry.
Do you have haters? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently so.
So listen, that is a sign of making it for sure. Like that's what we're looking for. Like, yeah, we'll take some hate because we know we're going in the right direction at that point.
What's up, Corey?
Yeah, thank you for posting, Corey. Let's see here. Can you just hit on social media a little bit? Like, how big of a part is that in all of this for you?
Huge. I spend probably 2 to 3 hours per day answering messages, emails, all that stuff. Definitely as I picked up a part-time job, it got put to the side a little bit more, so it's like every other day. But I really try to keep on top of that. It's definitely a thing in this generation of having a social media presence. And yeah, it definitely takes a lot of work as creating content, posting, whatever. But as these two have gotten older and now he's out of school, I'm starting to hand off bits and pieces to them. And then we have new managers, so we're creating a pretty decent team, which is nice.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And that's again, like the leveling up sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is that something that you enjoy? Like, do you enjoy the social media side of things? Are you someone who likes to be on camera, or do you all tend to be a little more on the shy side?
I don't enjoy doing the social media at all. If I was able to just be outside and not have to stare at a screen for hours a day, that would be like my favorite thing in the world. As for being on camera, I mean,
well, let me just say that for like the first 2 years, I refused to play drum set.
What do you mean?
He was on box drum.
Because I was so shy, I would play box drum. Yeah. And now I hate when I play box drum.
And not only would he play box drum, but I was singing, he'd be playing like this.
Like turn right at her.
Because he's like, I'm not looking at the audience. I'm not, whatever. I think it kind of comes with the territory of just being on camera, on screen. But I guess I never thought about it just because that is part of our job. You know, I guess I think more on the sense of, oh, if I didn't have to edit this, if I didn't have to spend hours on this.
I know that pain, yeah, for sure. You had touched on a couple of things there. Well, I had a question actually about stage fright. Is that something, Christian, it sounds like you've gone through that a little bit. Yeah.
Not necessarily stage fright, I would say, More like just a little uncomfortableness. Like I'd still get up and I wouldn't like freeze or anything. Um, but I don't know. I feel like we've done this for so long. It's like so long, but that like we now have like a ritual before where we're like pray
Oh,
or
that's
whatnot, and then
that's
like
awesome.
yeah, and then we do like a power clap after everything. Um, like all together, and it just helps like calm the nerves. Like we're always doing like push-ups and squats backstage. It's
Yeah,
kind of funny.
that's all great stuff. I am usually terrified before I go on, so that's something I've spoken
Alex
of.
is like, yeah,
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, you too. That's a good idea to have a ritual before you go on though here. We have some questions. Jarrett Evans writes, where and what area and venue do you guys enjoy playing at? What's your favorite venue?
Your favorite show you've played? I would probably say KCF in Indiana. That was my very first festival I ever played at.
Mm.
So I think it's really cool. So it kind of holds like nostalgia and stuff.
yeah. That's a good one. I don't know. I love just playing. Like so I don't know if it's terrible to like this one not stand out. Like that's awful. But I'm not sure. I love any place with a big stage. And I don't mean big stage by tons of people. I mean big stage by like movement space because
Mhm.
I like to move on stage. So when I'm
Just
not
Yeah.
yeah, when I'm not tripping over things, like that's my favorite kind of stage. Because I run enough chords to like my different pedals and I'm like, oh, like am I gonna fall?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to agree with Meredith on that one. Just like when I have like a bigger drum area, I don't feel as
Yeah.
crammed into a space. And I do like a lot of stick like flips and tricks during our set. So like
Cool.
when you're like all like your elbows are jammed in, it's such a pain. But, I definitely did like KCF. It's like a
Yeah.
big family there, so I really
We
enjoyed
just got
that
back
one.
from there,
Yeah,
so.
Awesome. Dave, I was talking with Dave from Chaos Guitars last night, and he said the stage is nice and big too, so it'll be nice to get on there. Yeah. Warp Tour Girl, thank you for joining. Dave from Chaos Guitars asked, does Meredith have any vocal training? She has one of the best vocals I have heard.
Oh, thanks. I actually had no vocal training for the longest time, and then probably 16 or 17, maybe 15. I've taken probably a total of a year and a half, 2 years of lessons from different people. Whenever I feel like I hit a ceiling, I try to take lessons to get me past that ceiling. And right now I'm doing some online, like learn at your own pace thing. So I did that for probably 2 months. And now we're out on the road, and I don't want to spend the money when I can't, put time into it. So I cancel those for right now. But that's singingsuccess.com, which I would recommend to anybody just because they teach you all about how to use your voice, how to care for your voice. And it made a difference in how I think about it, like theatrics, et cetera, that we've been working on to create a story behind each song and create a moment for people, which is a lot more than just playing your song, like it's little inflections, it's little pauses here. It's when he makes a facial expression or when she moves or whatever. So we're really working on creating story with our next performances.
That is awesome, and I want to get right into that real quickly. Derek says, KCF, let's go. And Joe Optimus,
KCF, let's go.
thank you for joining. Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit, because I feel like a lot of bands kind of miss the boat on this, and they just kind of go up and play their songs, and they don't really think about the visual side of things. Like you had mentioned before, you're kind of all over the place on stage. Like, how much of that do you kind of work out in rehearsals or practice, or are you just kind of getting up there and winging it every time?
So actually we're actually upgrading our rehearsal space here shortly, so we're gonna have like an actual like floor that we can do stuff in. But
Cool.
when Lise joined, we started getting these two like choreographed like in their movements, and then Lisa and I like work on headbanging, different facial expressions we would do. We got Lisa like different like clapping things. She would like point to the crowd in certain areas. So we've definitely dived deep into it when we started it, and I feel like it's definitely made our show better. We as well did like a whole new intro to make everyone be like build anticipation almost. So
and it fits perfectly with Carnival of Chaos. So
so it's definitely, I feel like it plays a big part in what we do now, and hopefully it'll grow over the next couple of years. So
yeah, we definitely started like winging it on stage, you know what I mean? Like we would play, sorry, I keep moving forward so they're able to get their heads in. We definitely started like winging things on stage. Like, our music was tight, whatever, but our stage presence was not, you know?
Lacking.
And it was very much lacking. And then we were like, duh, you got to practice stage presence too, you know? So when we started practicing stage presence and standing during our practices and not just working on the music, it's definitely when we've stepped up and grown. And there are certain parts that we're like, okay, this needs something, let's literally choreograph it, you know, and that kind of thing. Which I don't think a lot of people understand, like, the behind the scenes of doing that, you know, like, put in the effort, put in the time, because if you're winging it on stage, people will know, and it won't come across as confident.
That's a great point, and I think people sometimes it might feel silly or like that it's not necessary or something.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's really necessary. Like, you have to practice all that stuff and make sure like the entire show is as rehearsed and runs as smoothly as possible. And people just don't think of it that way. Yeah. So it's great to hear you say that.
Yeah, we've worked on, like, we almost have, I hesitate to say persona, because you have to have a different persona on stage than you are as a person, you know? So we've really, and she especially has really stepped out of, like, her shell, you know? And so when you're on stage, you are this thing. You are, people have come to watch you. You want to put on a show so they are entertained and enjoyed. And they want a moment where they're not thinking about all their life troubles, and you have to, like, provide that, you know? And so to also step out of our comfort zones and be like, I am this person was like a learning process. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it can be, and a lot of times it is just an extension of who you are. But do you have any like ways to kind of, I don't want to say get in character, but like to get in that headspace before you hit the stage? I feel like, I know you talked about your rituals before. Is that part of it?
Stretch, really. We're like, let's get all those little, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't, like, we pray before we kind of gather around, we stretch, and then we kind of just go.
No, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
Derek says, did I miss the July 5th announcement? Had to jump off for a sec.
Oh, July 5th. So July 4th, we are in New Albany, Indiana. That was just announced. We will put that on our page. And then July 5th, I believe we're not flying July 5th, but we're in Erie, PA, the 7th.
Okay, so breaking some.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we're in Ohio the 6th, but I forgot that's like a private home show. So I was like, wow.
Oh, okay.
So, that one I can't invite everybody to, unfortunately.
All right. There you go, Derek. Let's see. T85 official, thank you for joining. I'm sorry if I can't, if I mispronounce your names. I can't really read too well. I mean, I can read fine, but I can't see too well. Let's see. Dave from Chaos Guitars, 95% of bands miss the stage presence. Yeah, it's so true. And I just love that you already have that not only thought about, but rehearsed and together. I think that's a huge thing that it took me forever to understand and really embrace, and a lot of musicians never do. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, that's true. We've noticed that a lot, especially in the level we are in now with bands. It's definitely, you can tell if you've worked on your craft, or if you're just like, I'm gonna get up and wing it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Chaos Incarnate, Rose, thank you for joining. And Derek says thank you. All right. So, I mean, from the footage I've seen and listening to your songs, I love that they're like short and sweet. I usually try to do, I'm always trying to aim for like sub 3 minutes, 2.5 is kind of like perfect for me. But a lot of people kind of push back on that too. They're like, no, it's got to be like 5 or 6 minutes and have 20 parts in it. And I'm like, no. I don't think you're getting it. Yeah. So we just watched a band recently, and they were actually a couple bands like back to back. And the one who had the shorter songs, it was like, wow, it's such a difference, because it's like in and out and you're clapping and waiting for the next one. And then the other one's kind of, it can sometimes be a little bit of a slog. So is that something you're thinking about when you're writing?
No. I have 1.5 minute songs. I have 7-minute songs, and Christian hates it.
Well, I mean, like, I don't hate it necessarily.
Yeah, you do. You tell me all the time. You're like, what is this?
But like when we start practicing, all of a sudden she'll come out with like new parts, and then all of a sudden the song's like 9 minutes long. And then we start like cutting things off, and then she's like, no, I love this part, and no, we need that part, and like, and so and then we end up creating like 3 songs out of that one song, because that has definitely happened before, where we just stuck different parts into a different song, and it's actually worked well. So I mean,
I will say,
keep going, I guess.
we were writing a breakdown for a song the other day, and I was like bringing you back around, and I wasn't even writing it because Christian's the metal. Well, at least actually listens to super heavy metal too. But in this instance, Christian was writing the breakdown. He's like, "We're doing this. No, you're doing this. Oh, we're gonna add this," and it turned out to be like 4.5 minutes, and I was like, "See, it's not so easy."
It happens.
But it sounds
Yeah.
cool, so I think we get away with it.
And I was going to say the exact same thing. When you have parts that you're like, oh, I don't want to cut it out of this song, just make new ones with them. That's even better. So yeah, it's great that you're already on that kind of level as well. Serge Bobo, thank you for joining. So one of the other questions too, are you wireless guitar wise? Like you're doing all sorts of spins and all this. Do you just get, are you like wired and just get tangled up, or have you jumped onto wireless? I'm kind of on the fence. I want to free myself of the wires because I can't stand them. But yeah, you just talk a little bit about that.
We do use wireless.
Cool.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because using cords is hard because like you constantly trip over them. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like more free using wirelesses. Like I can actually like and not
be stuck to one
with
spot.
a cord.
Yeah.
We just invested in Line 6 or something like that. They were so expensive and they did not work. So I would not recommend that to anybody.
No.
I was able to send it back, and we I don't know, ours are like 30 or 70 bucks off of like Amazon, and I've never had a problem with them no matter how many people or signals is going around in the room. So sometimes better is not actually better.
Yeah.
The funniest part is when the wirelesses go out or they forget to charge them and then they have to record.
That's the worst.
And then you see them dance around each other and then they look at each other like and then go like this all the way back around. It's so funny to see. It's great.
Yeah, that's like one of my first questions. Like, how are you doing that? I would be like tangled up and not even able to move.
I practiced.
I think.
Sorry. Yep.
Yeah. I think too. Do y'all have pedal boards as well?
Well, we use a couple different pedals, so I don't have a board yet, but I'm looking into it as we expand our different sounds and different tones and what we're going for. So I just use a volume pedal and a tuner pedal, so it really doesn't affect the sound at all. She has an octave pedal to add some of that deep stuff. Yeah. But we keep it simple for now.
It's a good idea because it's just something else your wires will get caught up in. Trust me.
Something else to go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Derek says, I enjoy the fun spins. Let's see. Undefeated. A wire is a tether. I agree.
That's my mom.
Oh, cool. All right. Hey, guys. And Derek says Christian uses a wireless. Is that true?
Thank goodness.
You're always wireless.
He just walks around stage, you know.
Yeah. Have you ever used an electronic kit or like a practice kit or anything like that?
I do have one. I use it basically for like home recording when we scratch tracks to send to our producer. I have played one live. Not my favorite thing. They don't give me the same feel as a normal drum set does. And the sounds and the tones that I can get out of a real drum set compared to an electronic one are just completely different. Just the way your stick hits it, like there's different like things on like my drums that I can like hit, and I can like have it more punchy or ringy. It's hard to explain, but I would definitely prefer acoustic over electric. But if you have electric, then hey, you're still playing drums.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's a good tool. We use one pretty regularly to like just rehearse and record and write ideas down, and then exactly like you're saying, just then go back to the original or the acoustic kit and jam them out and make sure they work there too. What kind of like kit setup do you have, or do you like to keep it simple? Do you like a lot of toms? Do you like double kick or anything?
So at home, I use a Tama Star Classic drum set. Cool. It's maple. Tama, sorry. Yes.
It's the great debate. Yeah, Tama, I don't know.
Anyways, at home, I typically use a 7-tom setup. On the road, I use 3, 2 rack. Two rack and 1 floor, and then I do use a double kick. I use Trick Pro 1 Bigfoot pedals, their direct drive. I love them. like the best pedals. If you're gonna go for a direct drive pedal, I would absolutely recommend those. And then I have a hi-hat that's 12-inch. Then I do 14 or 16 crash, 18 crash, a 20 ride, and then a 18 China cymbal.
I was gonna say no China. That's my
Yeah.
favorite. Yeah.
Mine is
You
all
gotta,
cracked to heck, so I got to get a new
yeah.
shortly.
Even better. Is that like a breakdown machine? Like, is that what you go to for the slow? Like,
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Let's see. Ed Simonowski says, "Don't fear the pedals, pedal board and wireless."
For the win. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. I agree. He's the best person. He hooks us up at his, what is it, Big Apple in Utica, New York. So if you're
Oh,
in
cool.
Utica, New York, go to Big Apple. They will. They got all your
Hook you up.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, thanks for joining, Ed. We appreciate it. Band Wizard, thank you for joining as well. All right, so let's move over to touring. I think you did your first month-long tour. Was that this year or last year?
Last year.
Last year. Okay.
Yeah, in August. It was our first on the road for that long. Like, we weren't home, and a lot of people were like, why is your mom letting you guys take your 16-year-old sister on the road? She's 15 at the time.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, if you grow up the way we have and had all the, like, I don't know what to call it, opportunities. Like, she didn't just let us go. We've had years of building up to this, you know what I mean? And so there's a lot of trust that is involved, but you see the steps that keep unfolding. So it's different than just saying, go,
Mm-hmm.
like, you have the faith to keep going and whatever. But yeah, that was our first month long. We learned a lot. We learned a lot.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you have anything?
I learned about laundromats. That was interesting. I've done laundry before, but like I've never stepped foot into a laundromat, and the people you will meet there are the most interesting you will ever find. Awesome.
That is true.
We had one in West Virginia that owes us like $4 worth of quarters, but anyways.
Yeah, sometimes the machines just keep eating money, and you don't know what to do because you kind of need your clothes clean. Like,
yeah. What did you learn? She's like, I gotta think.
I became a lot more confident.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you did.
yeah.
Playing
That
so
was it.
consistently. I definitely watched her go from standing still to moving. And having the confidence to move no matter who's there. Because there's sometimes we played to like 3 people, and there's sometimes you played to a lot more. So it was definitely like you put on a show, whether I was there or not. Yeah, because I was like, you
cool.
at least get to practice, if there's your parents in the audience.
Yeah. Do you feel like how important is like being social at these things? Because I personally find that like a struggle. Like sometimes I have to really force myself to be like, hey, I need to go talk to some random people I've never met before and see what they're about and like try to make friends and make connections and that sort of thing. Is that like part of what you have to do on tour?
So this kind of goes in with the stage fright thing. I feel like everybody on this earth has a purpose for what they're like, and they are built specifically for the job they are meant to do. So I've never gotten stage fright. Like, I think maybe once in my life have I been worried to step on stage, right? And my mom used to make a joke when I was younger. She's like, don't tell her that's not normal, And so at the same time, like going up and talking to people, I love doing that. I will go and stand right next to somebody and be like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, who is this person? This is so weird, and whatever.
Yeah,
and so I just that like it's just something that comes naturally to me, which is different for these two. But I love it. But I also know when I need to take time for myself too to recharge,
Yeah.
So sometimes you definitely have to like take a step back and be like, I gotta go to bed or whatever, So, but you can talk about your experience.
Yeah, so definitely learned what's good to talk about. You typically, like, before I talk to anyone or see someone approaching, I automatically have like 3
incoming.
Yeah, no, seriously though. I have like 3 questions that I'll like ask right off the bat, and that typically jumpstarts a conversation. Or I'll see something like a band shirt or a band hat or like their wristband and try to start something off of that just to make them feel more connected to you. I found that really helps people feel more comfortable. And I feel like that goes a long way just being at the merch table. Because a lot of people love talking to you, and you have to be comfortable enough to talk back in order to like keep like interest almost. And it's definitely helped a lot, just like running the merch table, being behind there. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
What about you?
So I am naturally an introvert. So talking.
Can you tell? I keep like trying to bring her into frame.
So talking is kind of a little hard, but I've gotten like better at it. Kind of like what Christian said. You just have like, a couple questions in mind, they just pop out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. You have to share them later. Then I could use some help there too as well. I'm
It's like
definitely
the cheat
introverted.
sheet for talking
Yeah,
to people.
yeah. Hold on one moment. Let me consult the sheet. Ed says, thank you for the shout out. Let's see. Sanford 596 says, Wuhan has the best 16-inch china somehow. Is that true?
So I did not. Sorry.
He was nodding, but I know you. Hang on, I can
Oh,
find the comment, and then you can read
yeah.
it.
Wuhan has the best 16-inch china.
So
Is that true?
I've never used the Wuhan symbol before. I typically use Yildiz. My ride is a minal, and my trash
Cool.
China is a minal as well.
Yeah.
I will look into it.
Do you ever put like a trash stack together? You know what I mean? Like just all your
Not
food
yet.
up?
I definitely want to though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that kind of money yet.
Yeah, I hear you. Johnny B, the storyteller, thank you for joining. Let's see, Jay Skit official, thank you for
I
joining.
just did a song with
Oh,
him.
cool.
He did like he has the EDM electronic vibe and asked me to
Oh,
get
cool.
a song, and that's the first time I've ever done a genre like that. So that was
Awesome.
really neat. Check it out. It's called Rising Up.
Oh yeah, shout them out for sure. And then actually I did that over the pandemic. I had basically was sitting around by myself and was like, let's try. I just wanted to, instead of using instruments, I was just using a laptop and loops and keyboards and stuff, and just went into the EDM world for a little bit as well. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Great to dab.
Yeah, and just kind of experience something completely different. It's weird though, because there's no one else to bounce anything off of. You just, yeah. How much do you all find yourself doing that? Like, are you like, oh, I know this song's going to be great. When I bring it to the band, they're just going to love it? Or is it always kind of some like hesitation of like, ooh, man, I don't know how they're going to feel about this?
I go back and forth. So there's certain songs that I really push, and I'm like, no, this is the way it is supposed to be. Like Future, one of our newest release, I was like, I had this vision in my head. I knew how it was going to come out, and it came out how I wanted it. But I remember arguing with them, being like, no, I don't care. You can switch the other songs. This song is this song. Nothing gets changed. So we definitely go back and forth. And there's times when Christian's like, that sucks. Like, I try. I don't see you writing words.
But I mean, there's also the dynamic to like where I trust her. Like if she has like, she's never led us wrong with any of her stuff. So if she's like set on something, then I'll be like, okay. Unless I like absolutely hate it, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, we work together really well though. There's like, I mean, we're siblings, so we're very much, and we're loud. So we're very much like, we're not doing that, blah, blah, blah. And then 5 minutes later, we're like, okay, cool, you know. So it goes back and forth. But I feel like we have a good dynamic. We work well together. Yeah, it's fun, right?
I was gonna say,
yeah, right. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say that is such an advantage to have known each other your whole life. So like a lot of times.
Well, I've known them their whole lives.
Oh yeah.
You haven't.
Well, technically.
When you're collaborating with someone you may not be super comfortable with initially, it could be hard to be like, hey, not really feeling that. Like, why don't we try this? But it sounds like you're all just very open and honest with each other, and good things come quicker that way, I feel like.
Definitely. We haven't really written with other people.
Oh.
And that is one thing that makes me a little like,
yeah.
I have one friend that I like texted, and I was like, hey, I feel like we could, for lack of better words, vibe off each other. And he was kind of open to it, so we haven't really done anything with it other than like, you're nervous, I'm nervous, okay, but we're willing to do this. And then we kind of left it at that.
Yeah. I think
we'll see.
The willingness to fail in front of people you don't know is it can be terrifying, but you get to some interesting places that you would never get to by yourself, or if you stay in that little kind of, I don't know, writer's bubbles. I mean, great things come out of it as well, but I've always found there's some like left-hand turns
to share things.
It
comes from a very personal spot, so to open that up to somebody that you don't, I don't know, feel, I don't know, you get it.
It's like meeting a studio producer for like the first time, and then like they like judge like your skill and everything, and it's just super nerve-wracking. Like just that first take, you're like, don't listen to me.
That's so true. We go in sometimes because I'm a vocalist, right? I play guitar because we do not have a guitarist right now. So I play out of necessity. I can play, like I play well, but
She plays well.
I would love to just sing, you know? And so it's always funny when I go in and I'm like, here's the 3 chords, but let me sing first.
So are you currently looking for a guitar player?
We're definitely keeping an eye out. We've played with a couple people, but it's never like fully matched. Like we've never felt like there it is, there's a match. But we're keeping an eye out, and we've kind of considered eventually when we can afford it to maybe like hire somebody, hire a gun for like a tour or something. So
do you have any other
we'll just see. We'll see
siblings?
what comes off. Like we're not like actively like, okay, we need one right now, but we're also keeping an eye out. If somebody comes up and we're like, that would fit, you know.
You never know who you.
Yeah, you never know who you meet.
Yeah. Any other family members or siblings or anything like that you can?
There's actually 3 more kids after us.
There you go.
I'm first, he's second, she's fourth, and then so in between Christian and Lise is our brother Alex, who's a brainiac, like crazy.
He's genius.
Yeah. And then we have the 2 youngest. So the youngest one is 13, and he's musically inclined. I think I saw him hop on here a little bit ago. He's very musically inclined. So we'll see what happens because he's 13. Yeah. And then the one in between is like a super like sweetheart, super soft, and also the tallest one. He's 14, 15. I don't know, but he's literally a couple inches above every single one of us. So.
Cool.
And we'll see what we do. Yeah.
David Mercado Music, thank you for joining. Kidosi, thank you for joining. Sorry if I butchered your names in advance. Chaos Guitars says, wow, nice job, Mom. Such impressive kids. Thank you for that. Let's see. What I have to answer a question here. Oh, any updates? Do you make your own pants? That's a question that came through. Is that true?
I'm assuming you mean hers. I mean, mine are striped. I do a lot of my own clothes, actually. Like, I do embellish a lot. I sew a lot of things on because I don't know, I like them better when I make them cool. But you did, yeah, because I haven't done pants. I do skirts a lot.
I have these pants. One is like full leg jeans, and the other leg is shorts that I wear with
She chopped it right off.
I cut off the leg, sewed it all up, because that has like been like my dream for the past like 2 years to have pants like that, and I finally did it because Mom was like, you should do it or someone else is gonna do it. And I was like, you know what, that's a good point. So I wanted to start something cool and unique, so I did it.
It looks good. Job. It does.
And I really like it.
The funniest thing though is when we're at like sunny days, she gets sunburn on one leg.
All right, and L Dunkel, is that your mom? Am I pronouncing that correctly? All right, cool. I says I love being their mom, so that's great. Yeah. Make me cry.
We like her as our mom. She's helping me with my hair today because I'm rebraiding it to get it all ready.
Oh, very cool.
So under here is hidden a half a head if that's not braided. Probably should have said that. Nobody would have known otherwise.
All right, Sanford 596 says, oh, this is about the Wuhan Chinas. They are junk, but the China is cheap and sounds awesome. So there you go.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Derek says I have to go get pictures taken. Okay.
Go get some good pictures.
Yeah.
You got this. We believe you.
All right. Let's see. I'm just catching up here, scrolling through because there's a bunch of stuff in here. Let's see what else to.
I saw that.
Okay, so this is a good question from Jared Evans. After a show, where do you guys love to eat at?
We actually eat pretty healthy, so we don't eat out a lot. We just, if you want to take care of your body and keep it going on tour a lot, you got to get good sleep, you got to eat right, you got to work out. And so we actually eat I eat a lot of fruits. I love fruits and veggies. You eat, same thing, really.
Yeah, well, only
but she likes hamburgers.
We eat a lot of sandwiches, yogurt, protein bars, apples, fruit.
A lot of fresh stuff.
You're missing the best stuff.
We
typically pack cheese, I love some good
The
cheese.
best stuff.
Cheese, beef jerky, any
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of meat.
Homemade
So
beef
good.
jerky.
So good.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
he's the well, actually, she too. There's like little
Meat lovers.
Yeah, I'm not a huge meat lover.
Oh, okay.
There's a huge like steak or not, what's it called thing from Aldi's? You know the little
It's like
things
a
you
little
guys make?
steak that has like bacon wrapped around the outside.
Yeah, you guys
and
love
it's
those.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're packing, you're like prepping all that and packing it for tour, or do you like throw it in a cooler? Or something?
Typically, we bring like a small cooler, and we'll pack for the road, like just what we'll eat to get to the venue, and then we'll find like a grocery store, like an Aldi's or like a Walmart or
But we also
Walgreens.
book to where like they provide food and lodging as well,
Oh, yeah.
so it's just
Yeah.
on those longer.
Yeah, and then we'll like stock up on like just your typical bread, deli meats, cheese.
We lived off the tuna fish sandwiches last
It
year.
was good though.
To the point, like we were making a tuna fish sandwich in a laundromat, you know, we're like,
Yeah.
all right, guys. But you know what's hilarious is because we were eating so good, we felt so good.
Felt great.
Yeah, and to deliver a better performance for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the ports or
yeah.
shants. I vote
Yeah.
ports because I think that's hilarious. For your shorts or pants, like half and half.
Oh,
That's what that means.
I was
I'm
like,
trying
I
to
don't know what
decipher
that
it.
means.
Yeah, Ed Simonowski has
Like ports.
a comment in here. Are your one-legged pants? Are your one-legged pants ports or shants? I like shants personally, but that's me.
That can get confused real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't sound quite all there.
All right, so let's see. Chaos Guitar says Rosie wants to know if everyone saw the menu. They're actually gonna cook for the
Yes,
bands,
I
which is
did
awesome.
see the menu.
Yeah.
I forgot to share it with them. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'll show it to you afterwards. Yes. Yes, we're excited. So we appreciate you providing all that. It definitely saves us some money.
Thank you.
Very cool. Yeah. And El Dunkel, what's your mom's name?
Port.
No, Leanne.
Oh, what's my mom's name? I thought you said
Yeah.
Leanne.
Leanne. She votes for Ports. All right, cool.
I thought
Grumsow, thank you for
I was
joining.
like, Port. What's your mom's name? Port.
No. Yeah.
That's a very interesting name. It's French.
We were talking with Dave from Chaos Guitars Carnival of Chaos the other day too, and we were just talking about like the visual aspect of the band. So I know y'all are like moving a lot and all that sort of thing. Is there something like we're trying to break into, like, do we buy a banner or like scrims or something with the band name on it, or how do we represent the band visually to be more interesting? Have you really been down that road yet or thought about that?
Yes. So what we do, I'm just gonna do my little 2-bit. We have a box. Do you know how like ego risers? Most bands
Mhm.
do? We have a light up one
Oh,
that has glow in the dark paint,
yeah.
and it's also blue light. So we stick a blue light underneath it. Shout out to my dad for building that. That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
So like that catch, because most people don't do that. So that'll definitely catch your eye. Because it's like a glow in the dark, like right on front.
There's smoke that comes up through it too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Let's see. And then of course, like on your typical drum head, like your kick drum, you can have your band logo.
Yeah.
I mean, having a banner is cool, but then you also have to like worry about like bringing stuff to like prop it up, and then wind also comes to a huge play.
We stopped bringing our banner because it would get knocked over all the time.
Oh, okay.
We were like, well, it was made out of super heavy canvas, so we're like, we need something that's like a sheet.
A little lighter, yeah.
That's
But
good
yeah,
to know.
we have done like pyrotechnics a little bit and some fog machines and stuff. I mean, that's obviously a per venue thing. Inside, light it up.
Yeah. Actually, was at a show this weekend and they had a box similar to like what you're talking about, and that's the first time I saw like a relatively local band have one, so that was awesome to see. Your dad should go into producing them. We would buy one. Sure. Ed Simonowski, thank you for what's that?
Trial runs. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
I said it's taken a couple trial runs to get it to where it is now.
We'll take the prototype. Yeah.
Prototype. That's the word.
Yeah. Ed Simonowski, thank you for following us. We'll follow you as soon as we get done here. And the Dark
Fit
Store, yes. Thank you for joining. Sorry, my eyes aren't what they used to be. So we have about, like I say, 10 minutes left. I want to talk a little bit about, you had like, you released 5 songs in 5 months. Is that? Yeah. So I love this. And we've been doing, like, everyone's like, oh, the album's dead, blah, 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 blah. I kind of do agree with that. And I love just releasing singles as, just moving forward. And you can always kind of put them in a collection later and sell them as an album. So you can maybe just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's what we did actually. So online, they're all singles because we release once a month, and then on our merch table, they're all on a CD. And that definitely that was rough because we were on the road while we were trying to release all these songs. I was finishing the music video, I was doing all this and doing all that, and so one of the songs, The Future, I believe we released earlier than we had planned, just because we were like, I feel like this needs to be out now, so we're gonna put it out. And then we had the music video come a couple months later, but. Yeah, we have a piano song, which is really cool. I think we had one on our last CD, but originally we were planning to do an album, and then as we started writing the songs, we realized we didn't have enough songs for an album, and we didn't have enough time to finish that. So we ended up just doing the five, we called it 5 in 5 months. So it worked out well, though. I was really proud of how those songs came out because it was a huge step up. We always try to step up in growth whenever we release anything, so I really enjoyed those. Those are good songs. Too, yeah. We play a lot of them live, so.
So you've written them all. Are you recording them one at a time, or do you kind of go into the studio, bang 5 out?
We did it. Yeah, we did them all together.
Okay,
and
cool.
So we had them all like stockpiled and ready. And so we were debating doing an album. Like we were hoping to have another album out by the end of the year, but it's looking like it's not going to happen. But next year I'm hoping to do the full album thing. But then again, like, I don't know, like the singles work too, so I just feel like if the songs are strong enough to stand on their own, then we'll release it like that. But if we have enough songs.
Also, like, most people like write an album and then release like 3 songs of the whole album.
Yeah.
And then release the album.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I kind of fell in love with it. You can really experiment, see what people like on like a 1 song at a time basis. Every song gets a certain amount of marketing push or whatever you want to call it, and you get to see reactions in real time. Like I don't know, I just really kind of embraced it. And yeah. Derek says EPs are in.
Yeah,
thank God. Full albums are hard.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And Casual Sound Enjoy.
Oh, I'm sorry. With electronics, like I hear your voice as we're talking about. Oh wait, and then I goes. I was gonna say you can find all of our songs again on social media under undefeated_official. It's the same across YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Not vinyl yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, get there.
Vinyl though.
We have another band that we play with locally, the Ghost of King Walker. They're actually going to it basically carves the wax as you play. So they're going to play in a room. And then the recording device, basically the needle, carves the wax of the live performance right in there.
Wow.
So it's a one take, 1 vinyl. So they're going to go up to Brooklyn and do that, which is, I know, it was like, wow, that's
awesome.
Yeah.
I've not heard of that. That is so cool.
Yeah. So there's some, maybe there will be some vinyl in your future. Who knows?
Yeah. Vinyl is that's one of the reasons we haven't done it.
Yeah.
And we don't have a big enough, I feel like, interest in it yet to justify.
Yeah. And I feel like the world's so far behind with stuff like that. It takes like months, if not a year, just to actually produce it too. So yeah. Can you maybe just talk a little bit about your recording process? Did you work with the producer? You said you had the producer like commenting on your stuff at some point.
So I'm just going to start from the beginning. So basically, Meredith will write her song on acoustic guitar if I'm not incorrect, because that's what she like learned on. So she'll like acoustify it.
I always say, if you can't play it on acoustic, you shouldn't be playing it on electric.
Just going to say the same thing.
And then she scoots over to electric with that, and then
scoot on over.
And then at that point she like shows it to me, or like she'll show it in practice, and then right now I think do you write your bass lines as well? Yeah, so she also writes the bass lines for that after I figure something out. So she'll just like throw that in my direction, and then we'll spend like a practice for like 45 minutes just figuring stuff out.
frustrated, leave it for the next day, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then typically we rearrange it all and redo it, and then at that point we basically have like a fully functioning song. And then Lise will join in after learning what Meredith wrote in bass lines.
She's just recently though. You've started adding, a couple of different notes here and there. So
Yeah.
it's growing. It's cool.
I've only been playing bass for like 2 years, and
Mhm.
I've had lessons, but I haven't had lessons like in music theory. So I know nothing about how to compose, nothing about
Neither
how
do
to
I.
actually like write something. So like I know a little bit, but I'm kind of going off of that and just starting to like dabble in some writing.
Very cool. I think that's one of the great things about music is you really don't need that. I mean, it certainly helps in some ways. It's a tool that you can use, but by no means is a requirement at all.
Yeah, I learned all by ear. So
Mhm.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I love how you start on acoustic guitar too, because you're right. If it sounds good on acoustic, it will sound good electrified, but it will not always go the other way.
But it especially helps with different runs or whatever you're doing because it's so much cleaner if you can play it good on acoustic.
Oh, no doubt.
We play a lot of acoustic shows still, so we're able to play all of our songs acoustically, which people really, really enjoy as well.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Derek asked any cassettes in the future.
Maybe just for you.
And Emma Hoppler, thank you for joining. We're just about to wrap up a little bit. Yeah. So are you recording, Meredith, are you recording to like multi-track, like computer or something? How is your process there?
So I literally just start playing guitar and I have a notebook called Ridiculously Awesome Ideas that I write in. And then whenever I have a good idea that I want to keep, I just voice memo it quick until it's done. Or because I'm really good about remembering it. Or if I don't remember it, becomes something better than it was supposed to be anyway. But lately I've been voice memoing a lot just because I've been writing a lot of different things all over the place. And then I bring it, to them. They work on it. And then our producer definitely helps a lot and brings it to life and adds things. And he wrote in some really great bass lines in the new songs, and he adds some electric and stuff like that. So
Just
he
like
really
different lead parts. And
he
stuff.
really
Makes it
takes
fuller.
he really takes what we have and then like magnifies it, So that's what makes a good producer. It's awesome.
Yeah, at least that's what you can do. Learn from people like that, just pick their brains. That's a great way to learn too. Let's see. Ethan Hobson says, "Where's my patch? How am I supposed to place y'all on my battle bus?" Great question.
I gotta dig through some boxes and I'll find it for you.
We were debating patches too, pins or patches.
Yeah, we did patches just because we did beanies as well. So we did patches, so we were able to iron them onto all of our beanies.
Oh, very cool. All right, so that pretty much brings us to an hour. That blew right by. I just want to say thank you so much for jumping on here with me, and thank you to everyone in the comments for commenting and having a back and forth with us. Do you just want to plug, Papa Bear, thank you for joining. Do you just want to plug everything one last time for everyone so they know where to find you and hit you up on tour and all that great stuff?
I was poking her. I was like, you talk. Once again, thank you for having us. This was super fun. We enjoyed it. You can find us on social media under undefeated_official. It's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all under undefeated_official. We have all of our summer event dates and tour dates underneath those pages. So make sure you comment, you say hi, you came from Bellwether Ritual, you're going to see us at Chaos. That'd be so fun. Carnival of Chaos, I should say. We've just been shortening it to Chaos.
Yeah. Or COC3, we do
COC, there you
go. Around
COC3.
Yeah. So all right, there you go. Meredith, Christian, and Lise, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. And yes, please do catch them when they are in Shnecksville, PA for COC3 on August 12th, and we'll be there too. And really looking forward to seeing you all, and have a great tour. And yeah, thank you again for doing this, and talk with you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.